had 3 jobs last year. Why did you have 3 jobs in 1 year? Like, my face was so bait. And because my content was centered around mental health and helping men and exposing the reality of modern day women, with love comes hate. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The question that I get asked the most: why did you leave the UK, bro? Why? We need you out here, bro. You left us. But there's a story behind it. There's a story behind everything. So let's start from the beginning of everything that happened. So last year was a mad year for me. Just a crazy year in general. I rose to prominence and fame on the internet. I broke the internet many times. I broke the internet all year round. I broke it at the beginning, middle, and end. I broke the internet. A lot of things that people don't know. I had 3 jobs last year. The first job I had was at Charles Tyrwhitt. Loved it. Suit shop, banging. Loved it. I love suits. I love dressing like a gentleman. Blah blah blah. My second job was at Shoreguard, the place where the storage place. And then my third job was Windrush Housing. I had 3 jobs last year. Now the question will beg into your mind: why did you have 3 jobs in 1 year? Because I was so busy, so concentrated on breaking the internet, my face was so bait. Like, my face was so bait. Like, I couldn't rest. You know how normal people, they do normal things? I couldn't do that. So even having a job in a suit shop in Westfield, that's low key, that nobody really goes into, not really demand them anyway, I still had people there that knew me and my content. And because my content was centered around men's mental health and helping men and exposing the reality of modern day women, obviously, you know what happens. With love comes hate, and that's what I got. And eventually they got me out there for that reason, basically. And the same thing in Shoreguard. One of my videos went viral last year, and yeah, everyone in Shoreguard saw it, and then they thought I was crazy, and then boom, bam, bam, khalas. So let's just say, for argument's sake, my career, I wouldn't say stifled, like, but I just never got to where I wanted to get in my career, as in like work-wise. I was a manager, then this, and then it just kept, so I thought, you know what, let me just do my own thing. And then I was living off money off YouTube and stuff like that, and then got a job with Windrush Housing, which I would say was like kind of like the best job that I had. If you're watching this right now and you haven't subscribed, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're playing at. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube. We got so many more videos about tips and trips about being a student in Oman and adventures. We're going to different places like Petra and different places like Wadi Rum. Follow us on this journey, man. You know what I'm saying? If you ever wanted to study abroad, this is the perfect video for you. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Life-wise, you know when you do something that you genuinely enjoy, it's out of the realm of sales and all that. I don't have to sell to anyone. It's just like helping people, and I don't mind helping people. I like helping people. That job took me into January. I left this job first though because I didn't really want to work there, if I'm being honest, because a lot of the things that they were doing, I would say personally, is unethical. They were making us do unethical things, which I didn't believe in, personally. But alhamdulillah, qadar Allah ma sha fa'al. In December, just to boil back in the story, in December, a brother sent me something and said, we're going on umrah, send me 350 and I'll get you an umrah return. I said, what, 350? And it's with the man them. And this is like my close brother. So one of my close brothers to me, I have to say his name, he knows who he is. Yeah, my bookshop, my brother. He sent me that, and then I thought, cool. So when I got my money, the first thing I done, my first paycheck or my second paycheck, bam, I put money down for the umrah. So that was in January, end of January, 26th of January. So, yeah, I was just planning on going to my umrah, and that's it, khalas, come back. You know, I need my sins to be forgiven. Man's a sinner, innit? So man's gone to umrah with the brothers. We met up at Clapham Junction, and alhamdulillah, qadar of Allah ma sha fa'al, went to my umrah, and I had a very, very good umrah. I'm talking about so good that it made me reassess my whole life. When I was walking to Masjid al-Quba, and I was just speaking to different and various brothers, I realized I need knowledge. Because a lot of brothers, the reason why they're falling into a lot of sins and a lot of errors is the lack of knowledge. I was having a debate with someone, and not to say this is the reason, but one of the reasons why I wanted to get back on my journey of Tullab al-Ilm is that I realized how ignorant other people are. And that made me reflect on my own ignorance. Even a broken clock tells the right time twice a day. So don't ever look at someone and look down on them because they're less knowledgeable than you. What it made me realize is that he's so ignorant that I'm ignorant to even have this conversation with him. Does that make sense? Like I'm conversating with someone who doesn't even understand the basics, but I'm going back and forth with him. It shows my true ignorance. A true knowledgeable person would have stopped the conversation and said, you're right, I'm wrong, and khalas. Even though they know in the back of their mind they're right. Does that make sense? But because I was so ignorant, and that made me reflect on myself, that was at the end of my journey. That was on the coach coming back. So I thought, you know what, alhamdulillah, I need to start getting my knowledge up, man. I need to start getting back on my deen. And you know, when I came back from umrah, alhamdulillah, I felt so good, like iman-wise. I felt I didn't want to sin. I was staying away from sins. I was trying my hardest. I booked another holiday because I said, this year I'm going to be flying out, like back and forth, and I'm going to fly out. So I booked another holiday to Jordan, and then I didn't even have the intention to even study, but then like a week before that, yeah, for some reason, I started to like check what to do in Jordan and stuff, yeah. And then someone just said, oh, see if you can study Arabic out there, just look for that. I had a lot of time, innit? So I was just like looking. Yeah, I was looking at stuff and I was like, okay, when I come over here, inshallah, I'm gonna go to certain places where institutes and speak to them and see. Because the real intention was to help the brothers that I went umrah with to come out and we all study Arabic together. The key was to help every brother speak Arabic, even the basics, because some brothers didn't know alif, ba, ta. So I wanted to, when I came back from umrah, my intention was to teach the brothers in the masjid, but the intention never happened. Like brothers never turned up. I came to the masjid, nobody was there. Alhamdulillah, ala kulli hal, it's not even a problem, you know what I'm saying? Everyone's got probably personal lives and things that they got to deal with when they're in the UK. So I didn't take anything personal. But it made me realize how important Arabic was for myself. Again, everything that's happening and I'm seeing happen with other people, it's making me reflect on my personal situation. So I'm starting to say, raw, like, this is mad. I need to home in and do my Arabic and get on my thing, you know what I'm saying? These brothers don't want to learn, but I want to learn because I want to remove ignorance off of me so that I'm able to speak tahadithu kathir, and I'm able to speak tahadithu tarqin, you know what I'm saying? I'm not to speak fluently, but I couldn't. The problem with me was that at that time, my Arabic was I had a baseline of words and that was it. So I knew how to get to A to B, but if you ask the conversation from A to B, I'd be able to understand 40% of what you're saying, which for me is not good enough. I want to understand at least 95% of what you're saying. Being honest, I want to understand everything, but that takes time. So it's not going to come overnight. So I booked that trip to Jordan. I came out to Jordan, had a beautiful time at Jordan, and then I made a dua. I made a dua the day before I returned. I made a dua. I made a dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I prayed istiqara and I made a dua, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made everything easy for me. And I thought, qadar of Allah ma sha fa'al, I'm staying out here. And alhamdulillah, I've been there ever since. And I've been loving it. I've been loving learning and becoming the best version of myself, because you only become the best version of yourself when you focus actually on yourself and bettering yourself and trying to remove ignorance from yourself. And that was my intention, to become more knowledgeable so that I can speak Arabic better, understand Arabic better, and all of the rest. Speaking was the main goal for me, because I feel like that is where I lacked. I didn't really lack in Nahw and Sarf. I understood it to a certain extent, not to say I'm like proficient, but I knew like Ism Ishara, Jumla Fi'liya, Jumla Ismiya. I knew all of those basics. Does that make sense? And I say basics. I knew what a Madi, Mudari was. I knew a Fi'l Amr. I know Mustaqbal. I knew a few things, and not everything. I know a few things. But my speaking was so bad. I had a lack of vocabulary. This is where my main issue, and the point of the video is that my main issue was that I couldn't speak fluently. I couldn't speak and hold a conversation and express myself. يعبر is muhimmin fi Arabiya. Important in Arabic to be able to express yourself, how you're feeling, if you're feeling upset, if you're feeling anxious, how can you say that? Does it make sense? And I wasn't able to do that. I stayed out here and I've been here ever since, and that's like how it all started. Alhamdulillah, Allah made it easy for me. My advice for anybody that really wants to come out and study Arabic or study the deen, please make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He helps you on this journey, because this journey is probably one of the greatest journeys that you got. As it says in the hadith of the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, whoever transverses the path to seek knowledge, Allah will make the path to Jannah easy for it. But it can also be the path to Jahannam, depending on your intentions. So always renew your intentions. Don't do things so that people say, oh Adnan, you're a scholar, oh Adnan, you're a knowledgeable person. Do it so you can remove ignorance off yourself, because that's what's the most important thing, to remove ignorance off yourself so that you become close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because becoming close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the goal in the end of the day. That's all we're here for, to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to worship Him. And the best way to worship Him is by learning Lughat al-Arabiya, so that you can understand the Quran, so that when you hear the Quran being recited, when you hear the hadith being mentioned, you understand it properly to your heart, and you're able to read books of the ulama and understand it clearly what it's actually saying. So that was my intentions. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us successful. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.